Today on the show, we learn about an approach to goal setting that you've probably never heard before. How's it going, everybody? Jason Croft here, the Credibility Craftsman, and I am so excited to bring you this episode today with Dean Lindsay. We had an absolute blast in this episode, and we go in a little longer than we normally do in these episodes because, well, it was a combo of just great nuggets, both stories and tactics and just great insights from Dean, but also we just had a blast talking. Dean is an author, a speaker, a musician. He works with companies all over the world. So impressive. Again, we just had a blast in this interview and really got so much great information. His latest book, How to Achieve Big Phat Goals, really digs into, a layer beyond what most people talking about goal setting, really get to. And I think that's what makes it so powerful, and his messaging unique, and certainly his delivery of it all, and so charismatic, so great to really learn from. Makes the whole thing a blast. But you'll see that here in this interview, and let's jump in, shall we? Mr. Dean, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. I am honored to be on this show of yours.
Oh, this is a blast. Let's drive, shall we?
Fantastic.
No wrecks.
Yeah, this is really a creative little enterprise you have here. I've been looking forward to being on this show. Plus, I get driven around. I love to be a passenger.
Exactly. This was fun too. I not that this wasn't planned, but I did see Dean walking around the shopping area.
That's
here
right.
and
Yeah, you snagged me before we even made the rendezvous spot.
So it's nice. A little.
This is Waters Creek. Where we are.
Beautiful out here.
Yeah, I love it. Right here at Allen, and a couple different spots I meet, clients and or prospects and or just people to hang with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Spots around here.
So you've got 100 things going on.
I'm cutting down. I think I got 94. I think
Oh,
I've
nice.
cut. Yes, I've got. I'm not sure they know that I cut them out, but there's some things I'm not doing anymore. But yeah, it's fun. Not everything every day, but yeah, it's a nice variety of stuff.
Oh yeah, speaker, author. I mean, let's dig in.
Okay.
Let's jump in there with me. And what's your specialty? I mean, I know those things, but also in what areas and how are you helping business and people?
Well, thank you. I guess what I've kind of encapsulated, because I did have to get away from the fact of am I a speaker, am I a trainer, am I a musician, am I I an author? I try to think of myself as a helpful facilitator now, and that I take timeless principles and I try to share them in a fresh way so that it can make positive impact on people's life. The opportunity that people have here on Earth, to progress, and so I try to help people kind of work through the fog of how we make choices, and so it's been a neat ride as far as how it can be of service. Sometimes as a speaker, sometimes as an MC, sometimes as a trainer, sometimes as an author. It's fun. Sometimes some people think of me as a comedian. Some people,
I've seen you emceeing, and I would concur. It's fantastic.
You know why I don't ever think about myself as a comedian? Some people will say that. I think that would be so freaking hard to be a comedian.
Oh, pure stand-up.
Because you have to be funny.
Oh yeah.
If I could say something funny, that's a bonus.
You're right.
I don't right. It's like, and he said something funny. I don't have to be funny. That's
right.
a bonus.
It's not make me laugh.
Yes.
Right?
No. I think that would be so hard. So I can really commend the people. Yeah, you're paying to. You better be funny, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't have to be funny. That's a bonus. I didn't have, So
I love it. And while we're stopped, let's talk about the latest.
Hey, there it is. Hey, thank you. All right, Jason. Yes. This is my favorite car interview ever.
That you've done today.
That I've done today, this afternoon. Hey, yes, Big Phat Goals. You bet. No, and when this episode comes out, this is going to be right about that time that those New Year's resolutions, 2018 New Year's resolutions, people start falling off, and doing a lot of interviews and stuff with people now about goals and New Year's resolutions, and people talking about how can we stick with those New Year's resolutions. And that's really what that book is. That book is not to compete with SMART goals or WIG goals or anything like that. It's not a book on a plan. It's a book on a why. It's a goal. I used to call it a goal commitment book, but now I've been calling it a goal conviction book.
Oh, very nice.
And
'Cause it's that layer before.
It's the layer before. That's right.
Gotcha.
It's the layer before. And it actually hit me, and I quote Pat Benatar. Every speaker quotes Pat Benatar, don't they? I mean, so
this
I
is
had
like
to,
the fifth
I know,
quote I've heard today.
Pat Benatar. So I'm doing it too. So Pat Benatar says, with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. And so, even though I put that in the book, I didn't think about really why I was drawn to that.
Yeah, dig that out.
With the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. If we're going to stick with our New Year's resolutions, then we're not going to be able to do other things. And there's a tendency for us to think we're making sacrifices.
Right, in order to do this new
Yes,
goal.
so those goals. But with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. You know what the most important thing for you to do is. But she didn't say with conviction, with the power of conviction. So how do you gain conviction? That is continually digging into the why. Continually digging into why the benefits of your big fat goals is more important than, or more beneficial to you than all the other choices you could do. See, most of the other choices don't suck.
Right.
That would be great.
Right.
If every other choice you had sucked.
Right, then it's easy to make the right one.
It's easy to know. But
right.
we live in the USA. We've got a lot of good choices.
Delicious choices.
Yes.
Easy choices.
Netflix choices.
Yes.
Right. I mean, we got tons of choices that are pretty darn good. So, but you can't do it all. How about this? I can prove I'm not a motivational speaker. You ready? You cannot do and have it all. There's something for you.
Right.
You can't. So you got to make choices. We're making choices, and so that's what her quote. I knew that's what it meant, and I knew that it resonated with me. But it's only even after the book came out that I really have started to really
just dissect it.
Yeah, dissect why it connected with me so solidly.
And do you help people sort of dig out their
Absolutely.
why a
That's
little
what the
bit?
book is about.
Okay. Awesome.
What the book does is it lays out a methodology of how you can sell yourself on your big fat goal.
Awesome.
FAT is an acronym, pretty hot and tempting.
Nice.
I didn't make that up. That's old school. Chris Rock said that
Awesome.
in a movie Money Talks in the late 90s. Yeah, he told a lady she was fat and she was not happy about that. And he said no, pretty hot and tempting. And so I when I was putting my first, I put a workshop program together around goals called Big Fat Goals. And at the time, it was called Phat Goals. And I was using the premise of that you got to weigh down your goals in your mind heavy. So it was still the same premise. But then I realized I started to see a little bit of pushback. People didn't like the fat. So then I said, no, I still like it. Oh, but hey, I can go even further. Pretty hot and tempting. So you're going to do what you think is the prettiest, hottest, and the most tempting thing for you to do in that nanosecond.
Right. Always.
Right. In that nanosecond.
Right.
Now later you can justify it, or you can go, oh, that wasn't a good idea, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So the way to stay committed to your goal, is to have conviction that you working towards your goals is fatter than any other options. And that's what.
And I've gone through that process. Certainly, on finding my why and what's that driving force.
Right.
I think one key is to certainly not stop everything to figure it out by any means.
No.
But it's critical to do. But then also, how do you help people keep that front and center once they have discovered it?
Good. Well, that's a good point, because people do want to go, oh, now I got it.
Right.
It's not about knowing. You got to continually remind yourself about your why. People don't people don't forget they want to be skinny.
Right.
They forget why they want to be skinny. And there's pleasure in being skinny, but there's also pleasure in Haagen-Dazs.
Absolutely.
You've got to respect Haagen-Dazs. You can't turn around and say Haagen-Dazs sucks.
Right.
Haagen-Dazs does not suck, right? So the way to do that is to, and in the book I lay out what I call the 6 P's of progress, and it's kind of the headiest thing that I share in almost every talk I give, or in all 3 of the books that I've written. And it's basically this. Everything we do, consciously or subconsciously, we do because we believe in that nanosecond that the perceived consequences of that action will be us feeling the unique right mixture of what I've labeled the 6 P's of progress.
Okay.
Pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power. Whenever we're talking about marketing, marketing is all about helping people see that you having that widget, getting that item, driving that car, drinking that beer is going to help them feel pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power.
Absolutely.
Right. And so it's exactly the same thing. We're marketed that way all the time. I mean, we're sold. If somebody's inviting you to go do something that's off your grid, they're going to give you reasons, right?
Yeah.
And there's reasons are probably going to be ones you go, See, but Shakespeare says strong reasons make strong actions, right?
Yep.
Strong reasons make strong actions. So if somebody's giving you strong reasons to do something, or you're considering it, or there's all the options, you got to have stronger reasons to do something else. So you can put motivation on. I talk about in this book, Big Fat Goals, and then again in my different presentations. That term motivation gets really overused.
Right.
In fact, for a long time, I used to resist being called a motivational speaker. As soon as you step out and call yourself, I've been speaking 47 years, only professionally for 17. And when I first started, thanks, that's a good joke. When I first started, sometimes it goes way, but that's a good joke. I sometimes have to tell them that's a good joke. Often, actually, but that's a good joke. When I started speaking, as soon as you call yourself a speaker, there's that word, motivational. People want to plop in front of it. Oh, you're a motivational speaker.
Right.
And they almost say it in this little bit of a condescending, like,
sure.
type way. And I get it. I understand why. Mm-hmm. Because we have this tendency to think of a motivational speaker as somebody who's a little bit swarmy or a little bit plastic, or they're kind of hoity-toity,
surface
level-y stuff. And I totally get it. And I wouldn't want to be a part of that at all. I tell you what, being labeled a motivational speaker doesn't bother me so much anymore now, because it actually helps my day rate. So I'm okay with it.
Nice.
I've come to terms.
I am motivational.
You bet I am. I take that. But what I had to do was dig into that phrase. So you can take the word motivation. You can break up into two parts. Motivation is really a motive for action. A motive for action. So what's another word for motive? Desired outcome, purpose, reason.
Sure.
What's another word for action? Do, have. But then what are the actions you want others to take? Buy, call, read the proposal, call you back, right? So you can put that on a seesaw. Strong reasons make strong actions. If people have enough reasons, they'll take the actions. If they don't have enough reasons, they won't. Right. So it's not about knowing about a new activity. It's about knowing why. It's about having reasons.
Yeah, and those reasons need to be emotionally based.
They're always going to be that's the reason that you ever. I mean, I'm sure you teach this in the work that you do, that you've got to get to know your prospects. I mean, or even market research. What's market research? It's getting to know your prospects who you're trying to go after. Why? So that you can share with them in a way that they connect with how your products and services are going to help them feel pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power.
Absolutely.
So that's what that's what this book is about, and then the book goes into really strengthening that why, continually reminding yourself about the why. I don't get too big in that book. I do in my programs built around Big Fat Goals, the Big Fat Goals workshops. That book was about 3 times bigger when I first wrote it, and I purposely just gutted it out. Just said, okay, you know what? It's a little speedball. It's a little just to get through it. And
because sometimes because that becomes another goal, right?
Right.
Like I got to get through this book about goals.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
A lot of people skim this thing and go, "Hey, this is something I can actually finish." And most people can finish reading the book in 2 hours. So you can read it. And there's little worksheets and stuff that you go back and fill out. But I don't get in. There's not like a page that says, "Here are ways to remind yourself about your why," because I didn't want to get anything to trip anybody up. I didn't want to give a suggestion. There's no really suggestions in the book. There's a thought process. It's a methodology thought process that I would highly encourage you to consider. But then based on that, you'll come up with your own ways to remind yourself, whether that's sticking a Post-it note on your fridge,
or whatever works for visual, or if you're
you're gonna put a picture of yourself at 16, or get your big skinny jeans out and put them up on a wall or something. I mean, that's you. I don't know what you're gonna do.
I don't want to know.
I don't know. Some of it, maybe I
keep
did.
that to yourself.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know what you're gonna do. Put a lock on something. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's what. Give somebody $1,000 and say, "Hey, don't give this back unless I meet that goal." Yeah. You've had people do that, right? Hey, let's make a bet that the person who doesn't lose 30 pounds has to give another $100.
Right, or donate it to some horrible organization.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
That's so cool. Go ahead. I don't know what you're going to do, but I know that you need something, right? And then you go, man, I don't want to lose that money. I want to avoid the pain.
Right.
I'd rather have $100 than not eat not eat Skittles.
Right.
Whatever.
Exactly. So you go into organizations, businesses, and you help them with this kind of thing at a bigger scale.
Yeah, I work with, the Big Phat Goals concept can be utilized with team building. It can be worked with sales goals, obviously. Mm-hmm. It can be, because, you got to stay committed to, making those sales calls. It can also be safety. A lot of times people talk about safety goals. A lot of times when organizations have to put a new safety initiative, they're really just they do the safety program, hoping everybody can know how to be safe, and they really need to stay committed to why, how the because if you have a strong enough why, you'll figure out how.
Yeah.
Right, that's Nietzsche. I didn't make that up, but it's one of the core statements that I was running through my noggin when this was coming together. It was stuff like Shakespeare's strong reasons make strong actions. Nietzsche, if you have a strong enough why, you'll figure out how. And then my guru, my dude, is Dr. Viktor Frankl. You know Frankl's work. Frankl, the third father of Viennese psychiatry. I was doing a lot of research around goals for the first version of Big Phat Goals, and I was listening to tons of tapes and VHS tapes and listening to audios. I was even listening to tapes going to at night. I would listen to subliminally, trying to pick it up, anything and everything I could do to pick up all the different things around it. And about every third or fourth person I'd be listening to, whether it was Leo Buscaglia or Tom Hopkins or Tony Robbins, would mention Dr. Viktor Frankl. I was like, well, who's that guy? So I read Man's Search for Meaning, and then I took a deep dive. I got into logotherapy, meaning therapy. I went to 2 world congresses around logotherapy. I took some classes, and I didn't become a diplomat in logotherapy, but I did really get a deep dive into it. And that's what my foundation is, as far as a very basic statements like a human being is a deciding being. That's Frankl.
That's the difference between humans and the rest of the animals.
Yes, but it's also you want to say, duh, yeah, we are. But then you go, okay, well then that's it. Then based on that statement, how do we make those decisions? Well, we make it of some type of criteria, and so that's what I did with the 6 P's of progress. That's me saying this is what I think our criteria is.
Got it.
I think it's pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power. And I think that if we can find out what people are really trying to go for, including ourselves,
right.
then we're going to be able to position opportunities, i.e. goals, i.e. resolutions, continually in our minds or other people's minds, so that and that's also Dale Carnegie. The only way to get anybody to do anything is to make them want to do it, right? Yeah. So again, how do you make them want to do it?
Go through.
You see, they have to see it as problem. You see, so it's just me adding a layer to all that other cool stuff.
Well, yeah, and that's what's so needed too. I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine that so much, either in the personal development space, in all of the space, in all of our world, it's somebody taking something that's existed before, put a new layer on it, a new interpretation, but it's so needed. That's a reason why new people get a following, because people need to hear that in different ways. Some people need to hear it 8 different ways to get it.
I did.
Myself included.
Yeah, I get that from people. Some people, and they get it 2 different ways. Some people can say, "Hey, that sounds like Zig Ziglar," or I get other people say, "Man, does he sound like Ziglar?" And either way, I take it as a compliment. I go, "Yeah, I better." If what I'm saying does not somehow connect to Ziglar or Carnegie or the Bible, then I'm probably saying something wrong.
Right. Exactly.
So, but okay, good.
Right, check.
Yeah, I never have it in any of my programs. There's never a slide in my program that has this quote from Ziglar, but there's never a program that I give that somehow I don't end up just saying it. Somehow I just this is where I says today. This is where I'm going to say this statement. You can get everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. That's everything I'm talking about.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what the 6 P's of progress is. It's a way that's what they want.
Yep.
And so that's your goal, is to find out what that means to them. What does progress, what does pain avoidance, what does pleasure mean to them? A smile, right? In Cracking the Networking Code, my first book, I had all these tips, all these strategies about networking that, they're not wrong, they're right. And I thought, I'm not going to put anything in the book that I don't understand why. And so I even looked at the very simple one, like smile. Why do we smile? Well, because it offers pleasure, right? That's why you do it.
Yeah.
Right? And then that person wants to smile back at you. Now, that even say you're supposed to smile into the phone in a
sales call
on a sales call or whatever. And it's because there's this little lilt in your voice, and that offers just that little bit of pleasure. Now, that's not going to slam dunk it for them. If you can't go then tell them bad news and expect that to keep the momentum going in that direction. But
you're fired.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. I mean, but
So that all that stuff, it's actually playing off of. When I was reading Frankl back in 2000, 2001, he had a statement that I really have tried to adopt in my own life, and we talk a lot about being a thinker, but Frankl talked about being a thinker through. People would always compliment him on being a thinker, and he said, I'm a thinker through. I was like, dude, that's good.
Thinking to the other side.
Take it to the other. Think it all the way through. How does it really all connect, and how did we make the moves we make, and why do we make them? And so that's been my my goal in my little ways to be a thinker through.
I love that. So you're certainly writing books. You're helping train folks.
Yep.
Yep. emceeing, you mentioned?
Yeah, that's the new thing that I got into. I'd always wanted to do it, and I had some cool opportunities last year. I know I'm still hosting a series of events for the House of Blues Dallas.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Jazzed about that, and got the new season coming up for that. And
what are those events?
They're mostly going to be on the second Thursday of each month. So that would be the second Thursday of each month. It's a morning thing. It's 7 a.m. We've got some cool speakers, possible for that, and just really kind of open it back up. Gotten back into the. I was in the music scene back in the '90s. I'm not sure that was in my bio or that, but I had a rock band back. Played Deep Ellum back in the '90s called Babel Zoo, and I had a acoustic folk duo. We played Kerrville Folks Festival in the '90s, and I was a cast member of Up With People back in the '80s. And so I've gotten back into music, and that's another big part of it. There's some tunes on Spotify that people can check out.
Very nice.
Go to Spotify, the 3-song EP. It's called Long Breath In. I'd be honored to get anybody's thoughts on. Also, if you ever get either the CD of the audio version of Big Phat Goals, or if you download it. If you pay and buy it off my website as a bonus track, the tune I'm most pleased with is a bonus track on there. It's called Long Breath In.
Oh, fantastic.
Yep.
I don't suppose you'd want to sing some of it since you have a microphone.
Hey.
Maybe there's maybe just a little bit.
Let me tell you what I will do. I'll tell you what I'll do. My voice was a little bit. We're recording this right after the holidays, and I don't know about you, but do you have anybody else that had a cold and stuff?
I don't get sick.
I'm going to interview after this. So I had a cold, and I started playing with Amazing Grace. And I think we ended up recording it on Sunday, but I'll sing a little bit of my new version.
Please,
okay,
please.
Ready? Are you ready? You ready? Tell me if I break this microphone. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that brought my heart to fear, and faith my fear relieved me just to him. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Amazing grace, what's lost is found.
Love it.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, that's great.
Pretty good, isn't it?
I had no idea when you mentioned that arrangement. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and I think it's really fun. We did the whole thing. I like it because I really I'd heard, and I didn't want to go back and check because I was afraid I'd be wrong, but I heard that it was written by a prostitute.
I don't know.
I think so. I'm going to claim it until you prove me wrong.
There you go.
And so I thought about it as far as how she actually, I'm sure she didn't write it like,
the way it's portrayed.
Yeah. So that's just very similar. I mean, the Star Spangled Banner, that dude didn't write the music. He just wrote the lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Elton John didn't write any of the words. That Bernie.
Right.
So I thought about it from, this is Amazing Grace from the person that is not used to having grace.
Gotcha.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like day one.
Yeah.
It's like still in pain, not even sure how to actually relate to.
Wow.
To relate to it. There's a line in there, and a line in it I really like. I'll sing it too. Through many dangers, toils, and fears, I have already come.
Wow.
'Twas grace that brought me here thus far, and grace shall lead me home. Amazing grace.
With that lens on it, knowing like that
Yeah.
history of it.
Isn't it
Wow.
cool? Yeah, it's a neat perspective when you think about it. Because when you get deeper into the lyrics, we don't ever sing that stuff. But so I took the whole thing and I thought about how, trying to perform it as maybe I thought how it would really be. But anyway, you know what else? That's public domain. I didn't have to write it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so, there you go.
Sing it
I got
all day
song,
long.
I got song. Yeah, so I'd look at all the songs that are on public domain, old songs. So you can look forward to This Little Light of Mine and Jesus Loves Me, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks for letting me do that, Jason. That's brand
Thanks
new.
for doing it. That's a blast.
That's brand new stuff, man. That's hot off the press.
People are always expecting singing, little carpool karaoke.
That's right. That's
we
why
finally delivered.
Am I the first one to do that?
Number 1.
Okay. That's the best singing you've ever heard in here.
That's right.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me do that because that's brand new stuff. And actually, what happened was, I used to, because these are all gifts. I don't write songs. I would write a lot of songs, but I don't ever sit down and try to write a song. And when the new one comes to me, if I forget it, if I don't remember it after a while or whatever, I'll just go, you know what? If it comes back, it's supposed to be. So I don't ever really think about it. And Amazing Grace came and then left. And then when it came back and I knew my voice was a little still straggly, we were working on one song. I go into the studio every Sunday and work on these songs. And I decided we were not going to work on the song that we were working on, and we actually went ahead and recorded that.
Awesome.
So it'll be a very, it won't be all rocky. It'll be very, I don't want to say it's going to be ominous, but it's not going to be what it could be. It won't have a lot of, it's not going to kick in. It's not going to kick in. It's going to be like, it's going to be this person.
It's going to stay at that
level.
Yeah.
And so you'll know it could, and it might do it live if I ever do it live.
Yeah.
But it's going to just kind of be like, so you really hear what this person wrote.
Yeah.
This is not my words. These are the words of freaking Amazing Grace.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, thanks for letting me do that. Thanks, buddy.
See, I told you 100 different things.
Now, man, I'm interested in how this music's gonna connect with everything because it is a somewhat of a departure, but I have to do it.
You just feel, that's one of those things that just like it's who you are.
I didn't know that for a long time. No, I'm not kidding. When I did not embrace it, I paid the emotional cost. Just not being myself, just not being. These songs bubble up in me. I don't play an instrument, and so Babel Zoo and with Lindsay Gowan, I was very blessed to have songwriting partners that could pull the musical part of it, and the songs come to me a cappella. Not just that song. I didn't write that one, but the songs that I did write, Long Breath In or whatever the other stuff is that's on there, those songs will just come to me and I can sing them. And so the years that I didn't have somebody to work with, a new song would come to me, and I wouldn't have any way to deal with it, and so I wouldn't even capture it. I wouldn't even write it down, and it just felt empty. And so when these new songs started coming to me, I said, I'm really going to honor the gift that I was, that it is. And you hear, and probably true. And if that's what has to happen, that's okay too. How hard the music industry is, and so maybe that's not what it's about. Maybe that's not what. Maybe it'd never be a big Billy Dealio or whatever. I don't know. That's the reason I put it on Spotify. It's free. Go get it.
Sure.
Right? Where it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and maybe it will. And it already has opened some cool things. But it's funny how things will connect. All right. So I got the deal at the House of Blues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they, if you're hosting things at the House of Blues, they tend to give you free tickets to stuff.
Right.
And so I've got the wife and the 2 kids, and they've got that gospel brunch at the House of Blues.
Okay.
Okay. So the hostess of the House of Blues gospel brunch, singer Lady Diamond, she is dynamite, is a Facebook friend of mine. And when the first songs came out many, many months ago, I shot them over to her, and she's like, oh yeah, these are really, really great. So then I told her I was coming to the House of Blues, but I was getting the free tickets. And so she pulls me up on stage to sing.
Beautiful.
So I get up there and sing, and then she's like, oh, this is great. So the next time I get up there and sing, and the musical artist, the guest artist, hears me, and I won't tell you the name of that band in case it doesn't work out, but we're meeting this week about me possibly being, helping them write some stuff and all that stuff.
And that's how it's done.
That's how it's done. So you never know, man. You never know.
Yeah.
So, and then...
But the lesson there, too, though, is because you listened to that tug, tug, tug.
Let it go. Let it out there. Get it out there.
Yeah.
I don't have an agenda. I don't know what's going to happen. I just
Yeah.
know I try to make it as these are radio ready. If anybody chooses to listen to them, and I obviously can tell I'm trying to sell it pretty hard because I'm pretty jazzed about them. They're radio ready. At least two of the three. There's one tune. The Pray When You Have a Prayer. I would. You won't notice it, but I would make it a little bit better if it ever made it to an album. But the other two songs they're radio ready. You had Scott Schilling on, right?
Absolutely.
His show Talking with Giants.
Mm-hmm.
He's using Get Me to the Cross as his theme song music.
Oh, awesome.
That's my song.
Oh, fantastic. It's all coming together.
There it is.
All
There it
tying
is.
in
There it
there.
is. But anyway, thanks for. We can move on for something else. But anyway, yeah,
I love that.
That's. I'm real pleased with it, and we'll just have to see how it all comes together and stuff
Well, and
like
that's
that.
and that's the thing too. It's like getting back to the book and being goal driven and living what you are out there teaching.
Yeah.
and really following that power and that why inside.
Yeah.
right?
Well, what's interesting is I can't say one of the things in Big Fat Goals is to craft a goal, not to set a goal crafting. But you can and one of the keys is it's something you can control. That it has to be connected to you. Something you can't make a goal for your kids to be successful,
Right.
Or your kids to graduate from college. I mean, that you can give them the opportunity or whatever.
Right.
Same thing with this music. I can't control what happens to it, so I can control that I'm going to create a quality 10-song CD. That I'm very proud of.
Yep.
That I believe can be of service. Is it of service? Whatever. What happens with it after that, I can't control.
Yeah.
It might be much bigger than I expected. It might not be as much as I expected.
Well, and I love that too, because I think that's
Same with books.
I think that's an aspect of goal setting in general that isn't talked about enough. That plays into all of this.
Yep.
And not only being okay with it, but knowing that's how it works.
Yeah.
Is you're going to do everything you can, but then there's the letting go. Then there's not just because you set this goal and you did steps 1 through 12, but just because you did some steps, that energy went out.
Yeah,
started bringing things together.
That's what we should be focusing on as far as goals is the actions we're going to be committed to taking. Some of them, no one's. I mean, the weight stuff is the easier ones to even get back to and talk about because that is totally under our control.
Sure.
I mean, no one's forcing you to put different food in your mouth, and with education and better, I mean, you might not be able to. You might be too busy to work out, but you're not too busy to eat, eggs
right.
and drink water.
Instead of donut. Yeah.
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 And it doesn't take a whole lot of education, probably about 15 minutes online to be able to figure out the stuff you're supposed to eat. Not lean protein, yes.
Right.
Right? Broccoli, yes. Blueberries, yes. Water, yes.
Broccoli.
Asparagus, I don't know. Choose your green. So anyway, thanks.
But that's awesome. So what's next on the agenda? Any next? Just more and more and more?
Well, we're shooting some new videos. The whole SEO stuff is always popping up. Real pleased with the website. When I say videos, me live. Me speaking. It's been a while since I've had new speaker videos. Got a big presentation in North Carolina. That a cool stage and all that stuff.
Very cool.
Sometimes you gotta, it's not just having a big audience. You also gotta have, the right staging and everything so that you're presented in the right way. So
Right. And then, like you're doing, take advantage of that.
Right. Got
As-
3 camera setup coming in. Yeah.
As someone who specializes in it,
Right.
would attest.
I can tell you this: the videos that were shot of me, 2004 to 2009. If it weren't for those videos, I would not have had, even with the books, the opportunities that I've had.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the videos and having the right connection.
Something that's tangible. It makes it real.
Was for speakers, it's a must.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not gonna get a lot of bookings unless you have really good speaker videos.
Right. Of you in front of that crowd.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is in front of the right crowd. I mean, I've given a great presentation in the back of a Luby's, but it wasn't.
Right.
People go,
They
hey,
loved it.
Hey, yeah, they loved it, but they're like, man, you're in the back of a Luby's. So it's just not going to work.
I can see the
I can
food
see- I can
trays
see the-
going by.
Oh, I've done that too. Oh my gosh, I have had every experience in the world. Every one.
Come on, give me your favorite.
Kooky ones. I spoke at on the ground at the Texas Motor Speedway in the pit down there. Do you even talk? I gave a talk on a caravan. I mean a canopy a ship on with. I got to speak above the Arctic Circle in Sweden, and worked into my deal that I got to stay in the ice hotel.
Oh, are you kidding me?
No, check it out. Okay, so the group, the guys in Sweden, they wanted me to come in, and I was going to do four talks, and they told me that three of them are going to be above the Arctic Circle, and I knew about the ice hotel. I said, well, hey, are we anywhere near the ice hotel? They said, well, we're about 20 minutes from the out of our way to go to the ice hotel. And so I said, well, hey, can we work out part of the deal, me getting to stay in the ice hotel? And then this is the part I didn't know. The guy who was talking to me, he took a pause, and he went like this. He goes, you ever been to the ice hotel? And the guy says, no. He goes, you want to go to the ice hotel? The guy says, yeah. He goes, yeah, we can work that. That was part of the deal. So that's how we got to stay in the ice hotel.
Awesome.
Isn't that funny? And that was a trip. If anybody tells you they spent 2 nights at the ice hotel,
They're lying.
they're lying. That's a bunch of crap.
Was it?
It was hard.
insanely
It was.
cold
They
and
give you a
horrible?
diploma. They give you a diploma afterwards, and it tells you the degree that you survived the night, and it tells you the degrees it was outside and then the degrees it was in your hotel room. It was
Oh.
minus 7 degrees Celsius in our little.
What is that in
bungalow.
American?
Cold, really cold. And then and then when you get there, you don't have there's no running water in your little ice thing.
Right, because you wouldn't want it.
No, you don't. You check all that into these lockers, and then they give you a big sleeping bag that all the way just holds your face. That's all you got. And then you're on. We had this one big. It was huge. It wasn't like a bed. It was like this one big slab. Yeah, it was a slab. It had bricks, and then couple big pieces of wood, and then deer fur, a lot of deer fur. And that's what you laid on, and then one pillow. And the other 2 guys slept up like this. I slept with my face down.
Keep that covered.
Keep it covered. And then all night long, anytime the air would come in, I'd I would wake up the next hour. If you ever see pictures, there's pictures of me the night before and the morning after.
Looking all good.
And the next morning, I'm totally wretched. And I only had one. I purposely did have one drink at the ice hotel bar, because they give you the ices. You get it in ice. The glasses. Yeah, it's from the. Absolute. So I didn't have one, but only one. But man, I look like I was been. So that was. I'm glad we did it. I'm very, very glad I'm not. But yeah,
Never again.
I'd go with somebody. I'd do it again, but only one night.
Right.
Yeah, one night per round.
Gotcha.
Yeah, don't want to stay there 2 nights. There's no reason for that.
That's a blast.
Thanks for that. I forgot about that. That was a long time ago. That was a lot of fun. I've gotten to speak in Ecuador and in Venezuela and Spain and Turkey.
Oh, wow.
And Aruba and Jamaica and Canada and Mexico. So I mean, you just keep throwing it out there.
That's what's so fun with what you do too, is that just like that, all of a sudden that opportunity can pop in. And,
You never know.
It's so fun.
I had a speakers bureau that contacted me, and they said, and they kind of knew that I was up for anything type of thing, and they said,
He stayed in the ice hotel, so
yeah,
he'll do anything.
We'll do anything. Exactly, but yeah, to a degree, that's what they were thinking. They said, hey, we've got two presentations in Spain. And I said, yeah. He said, well, let me tell you about it, Dean. Let me tell you about it. I said, they go, come on, wait. So they said, well, we'll see. They're 1 week apart. So a lot of speakers they thought about maybe introducing it to we're going to get upset about not having a week of work.
Right.
And I was thinking, yeah, a week apart. All right. So
yeah.
The one was in Barcelona, and then they were going to, on the bullet train, shoot me to Madrid. So I called my wife and I said, hey, you want to go to Spain? She said, yeah. I said, well, it's during school. You want to take the kids out of school? She said, yeah. So we just pulled the kids out of school and
beautiful.
went to Spain. So yeah, you never know. I mean, you were teasing about. We're talking about the other ones, but then I've also had other ones where they're eating over me, or or the trays of food coming by, or there's all that stuff. You got to play the opportunity. I'm appreciative for every opportunity.
Oh yeah, any crowd you can get in front of and share that message and teach, and absolutely.
Yeah. So but you do I do get a kick out of the really neat ones.
And then how much? And then on when they are kind of going off the rails a little bit, how much you seem to be the type that just really hey, let's just go for this ride. Let's just dig in.
Yeah, I go with it usually,
Yeah.
unless somebody is offensive or disrespectful.
Sure.
And then I get a little belligerent. I'm not a nice. I mean, if you're
Nice.
trying to tick me off, you're not going to enjoy this because I'm not allowing that. But I mean, I'm good. I mean, I'll play around or because there's a lot of different things. A lot of like he wants to be, as long as people are trying to be, positive and those, those type of things. So but you got to be. I mean, microphones don't work or PowerPoints don't work or part of the staging is creaky or, you just got to play that or, balloon goes off or lights go out. I mean, there's all sorts of different things that can happen. And so in those moments, I'm very, very flexible because to me, that's part of the live performance. It's part of the improv of that. And you got to know your stuff too. I don't need the PowerPoint and stuff. It's all just been more beneficial for those guys. Or then there's a lot of times I don't use PowerPoint, at all. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's really good, and that's what makes a strong speaker, right? Who can take all of that stuff in stride and keep rolling, keep delivering value. And
there's so much value to there's a lot of different ways to connect. There's a lot of different truths to share. I definitely try to nothing I do up there is cookie cutter. So I mean, I try to get a really good understanding of what the
that group or that audience wants.
Is in need of and where they are and where they're trying to go. Yeah,
that's great. Those are the best presentations I've been witness to, from people I haven't heard of to big names. When I see that they did some level of that research and dug in and like really.
And I'm not saying I always did that. I had some years where I phoned it in and I paid the price. It was not fun for them. It was not fun for me. I dreaded all that stuff, and I'm not there anymore. I'm in a very appreciative, grateful, eager to serve because it serves me. I get a kick out of really connection and understanding. A lot of things pop into my head in that moment based on the research I did, but I didn't think about what I was going to say in reference to it. But then when I'm in the moment, then I go, oh man, that's how that connects. And then I say it. And so then I remember one that happened. I was working with Precision Tune Auto Care, and I was talking to him, and then all of a sudden it just popped in my head. I said, I bet you guys are having to answer the phone and delivering customer service while you're under a truck with fluid dripping on you. And it just popped in my head, and they all went, yeah, that's happening. And until that second, I hadn't even thought about it, But it was because I had been to the facility. Of course, I'd been to, you know what I mean? So it's those type of things that you allow to, and then they were like, yeah.
And then they're with you.
Then they're with me, And then you hear them say, and then another thing they did in that same talk, the CEO was talking, and he was reading somebody's thing, and he was talking about that it's almost 5 o'clock or almost 6 o'clock. We're about to close down, and I was the only one left in the shop. And somebody needed an oil change, and I put the gloves on, and I went, ooh, and that was right before I went on, and I went, gloves on, and I made the whole thing about put your gloves on, when you put your gloves on, and all the things, and I was like, wow, So you do the research, but then you also allow the moments to pull it all together, and so yeah, it makes it fun. It's a dance. It's not a push the button and
right.
And here 45 minutes later I'm done. You play off the audience. If they laugh at a certain place or they make a joke or they say something, you make them know that it's an interactive thing in it. And I do that as much for me as I do for them. It's fun. It's fun, and it's the way that I can be of as much service. They need to believe that I'm really. They want me to have a good time too, right?
Oh yeah, and that you're there for them.
Yeah,
and you're all in it to get something
and
out
I really do believe that we're all so similar. Whether I'm, and I don't say this to be impressive. It is impressive, but I'm not saying it to be impressive.
but write this down.
But it is impressive. I got the opportunity to speak. Okay, tell me if this is not impressive. I was hired and got to speak 2 days and work for 2 days with all of the U.S. patent judges.
Oh wow.
Huh? Okay, so
he's right.
That was impressive. 2 days, but the same, almost 85% of everything I said, and I guarantee you, 99% of the way I said it was exactly the same thing I said to the Precision Tune Auto Care store manager.
Right, and it was effective in both places. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. Is that it's that once we get down to the human aspect of what we're all really doing, people don't want the heady stuff. You don't want to try to impress people.
Right.
It's just about making that connection. So that's what really, and that was both this year. And so that's what really for this year really helped. Really brought home to me that just get real and be authentic and care, and then let it go, let it roll.
I like it. So how do people track you down, stalk you on the internet?
Call Jason, and he'll get in touch with my people. And then my people, DeanLindsay.com, DeanLindsay.com,
Okay.
email Dean@DeanLindsay.com. Of course, the books are all available on Amazon. I'd be much more appreciative, and I can sign the books and stuff if you go to the website, buy them the site, or I'm happy to even give my cell number if people want that. I 214-457-5656. Call me up. I'm excited to see how I can be of service. Another thing that's happening with the book, cool things, and one thing everybody's watching, people are starting to look at this book as graduation gifts for high school and middle schoolers, and I don't mean that as a gift like one-off, like grandma gives to a kiddo, but actually like the business owners, the institution buying it for the entire graduating class. And so we're starting to get endorsements in that regard, because I really see over the course of the years, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that Big Phat Goals could be another option to, the Places Will Go by Dr. Seuss.
Right.
In fact, I said that to a PTA president mom, who really dug the book, and we were looking at it for a particular ISD. And the principal has it, and we're talking, have a meeting, it's happening.
Wonderful.
And I was teasing, kind of as a joke, I said, yeah, I mean, you could use it instead of using the Places Will Go. We were talking about 8th grade graduation. And she looked at me and she said, yeah, we used the Places Will Go for 5th grade graduation. I said, yeah, so you can't even use it again. Now you're done. You can't read that book out again. What are you going to do? So how about Big Phat Goals? So anyway, we'll see. So if anybody has any contacts in that regard, ISDs, I think this book could be, and I didn't write it that way, but I reread it, and I really am kind of a 14-year-old boy at heart, so I was not surprised that it connects in that, and there's very few little concepts that I'm sharing in the book that they wouldn't connect with, and once they do, the ones they haven't heard, stuff like employee engagement or goal alignment, they need to know that stuff anyway.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Rock and roll, man. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thanks for being on. This is
fantastic.
Thank you, Jason. Amazing value. I had such a blast.
I did too. This is fun. It's good to get to know my hood, and I've seen my places from a different perspective. A couple of times in here, I was like, "Where am I?"
Now you talk impressive. Look where we are.
I know.
At the end of this,
you made it right back.
And I had no idea where we were.
Did you really not know? Yeah, you made it right back. I was like, "Oh, we're about to wrap this up." He's guiding me home, back to Waters Creek.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dean. I hope you had a blast watching that interview. I certainly had so much fun driving around with Dean today. Really getting into a lot of his great stories that he has, as well as digging into these tactics and learning how he helps organizations the way he does. Make sure you reach out to him for sure, DeanLindsay.com, just like you mentioned in the show. And bring him in. If you've got an organization and need that guidance, bring him in to speak. Just fantastic. And if you need help on the media side of things, kind of like he talked about, the videos that he's creating to get his brand, his message out there, that's what I do for folks. And it changes everything for my clients when they're able to show these tangible results, whether they're speakers or consultants. So feel free to hit me up at croftmediaco.com. All the info's there. And if you like episodes like this, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube. And if you're listening on iTunes, subscribe there if you will. Leave us a review. Helps us get found in the whole iTunes podcasting space, so more lovely people like yourself get to hear what we're all about. All right, see you on the next one.
It's Saturday night. It was Saturday night and I'm feeling kinda silly. Winter coat on cause the air was chilly, but I'ma make my way out to the record spot. Gotta find some new breaks for the beats to rock. I gotta come with the flavor like some lifesavers. On now and late is Dr. Beatmaker. If I'm a player, it's like your tape deck. And if you miss the gig, then take a rain check. Stacks of wax piled high to the ceiling, need a U-Haul truck if I would think about stealing. But it's not my steed, so I commence with the digging, no kidding. Something that'll keep the beats hitting what I'm getting. So much to choose from, bro.